Alright lads, so earlier today we did get the new ultra difficult IT quest, and with that I got a lot of questions in my first initial video where we posted one of the runs that we did do. We cleared in around 1 minute and 36 seconds and we got 22 super links or potions. All that for 22 pots? I know, right? It's crazy, but I did get a few questions saying, is it worth farming? I also had a lot of people saying, oh, this is terrible. Why would you even farm this? This is stupid. This has been one of the worst things I've ever done. But I want to give my full opinions on this new update, this new ultra difficulty. Coming out of the perspective of someone that is very fortunate enough to have a character at max transcendence, that has an active guild, that are able to join my lobbies and stuff like that. And also I want to ask the question and answer the question, is it worth farming? Should you now spend time in the ultra difficulty IT quest? And does this make farming characters to T20 significantly better? And the answer to that is yes. It very is. It literally is. It basically cut the time it takes the T20 character in half, because you get now essentially double the pots. So I'd say it's actually more than double, maybe even triple, depending on how lucky you get. But it is definitely a better way to farm IT, and I think this is a great addition to the game, in my opinion. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Having said that though, what you should be asking, instead of is it worth farming, you should be asking, can you farm it? Because that's the big thing right now. This new ultra difficult quest is the first time we're seeing an ultra difficult quest, right? Normally it's extreme, hard, very hard, for example, ultimate and epic raids, for example. We've never seen ultra, and this new quest basically requires you to have pretty much a max transcendent character for the most part. It doesn't entirely need a max transcendent character. You can definitely get away with a 2 out of 5 character, maybe level 10 SP and focus, maybe get them to T15, maybe even T20. But the main point of this is that it requires you to have a team of 4 that know what they're doing and have worked on characters. You cannot go into this quest with a character not even level 10 SP. You cannot go into this quest with a character that doesn't have level 10 link slots. I don't want to roast this one person. I don't know your name. I'm sorry if you're watching this. You joined my lobby with a Basby. Basby was great, but he had level 1 SP and level 5 link slots. I'm sorry, I had to end the room on you. Like, maybe call me toxic, whatever, but listen, this quest is not designed for those that aren't ready for it. You have to be ready for this, and that's, quite frankly, is a good thing. As I mentioned in yesterday's video when we were talking about the ultra difficult quests, is that this game lacks endgame content. It lacks hard content to the point that a lot of you could get bored very quickly once you do max out your characters. And that's the good thing that I think this new quest does bring to the game. It's something to work towards. If you can't currently beat this right now, if you don't have a team of 4 or 4 friends or 4 guildmates that can't beat at a reasonable pace, then it's not worth farming. If you're getting like 3 or 4 minute clear times, then probably stay away from it, right? That personally for me, like, I wouldn't really go too ham. But if you are someone that is fortunate enough to have good selection characters that are maybe 5-5, maybe level 10 focus and SP, and fit level 15 link slots, level 20 link slots, then your clear time will be significantly faster. And in that case, then it's a godsend. This new update is great, because now you're basically getting double the pots for the same amount of time. So let's say, for example, in the extreme difficulty of IT, it was too easy, because people, instead of actually manually playing IT, they were just autoing it. If you just get a good team of autoers, you could clear in 2 minutes. And that's exactly what me and my guild have been doing for the last month. And that's how we've been farming our link slots, right, to T20. You just auto it. It was the best way to do it, because you could potentially auto for 6 hours time, and you don't have to focus on the game. You can do something else, just look at your screen every 2 minutes and just rejoin the room. There you go. And KLab knew this. KLab knew that people were autoing the quest and they weren't manually playing it. Therefore, that's why they released this new ultra difficult quest, because you cannot auto it. You might be able to. We have to wait and see how Jushiro performs, and Aizen. But currently, I know a lot of people tried to do Kisuke, but unfortunately, when the enemies have Sword Killer, and the fact that they already hit hard enough anyway, it makes it difficult for someone like Kisuke to auto. Maybe even Jushiro, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? But I'm definitely going to be trying out a full Jushiro run and see how that does perform. Haven't done it just yet. Don't think it's going to work with Sword Killer when they have Sword Killer, but maybe on, maybe next month when they don't have Sword Killer and there isn't burn pools, then it might be autoable. And if that's the case, that's going to be pretty good. But they clearly designed this so you don't auto it. You have to manually play it, and I think that's great. As I mentioned, my whole guild has been autoing IT for the last month. We haven't been playing it. We've been autoing it, and it gets boring occasionally, right? It doesn't feel like you're really doing anything. You're just getting the pots over time. But with this new update, with this new difficulty, a bunch of us lads in the guild, in my guild personally, have been farming IT. We had multiple rooms going at the same time, all of us just going ham, getting the pots, having fun. And that's something that I have to, clap to KLab. I think this is a great change. Again, this is something that is kind of endgame content. It is endgame content. Quite frankly, it is. It encourages you to have your characters maxed out before going into it to therefore max out your other characters faster, right? That kind of makes sense. It's kind of like the cycle they're going with right now. And that's something this game has been lacking. I think it's a great change, and I don't think there's any bad thing about it. Yes, the drop rate could be higher, but it has been doubled. It essentially has been doubled. A normal extreme run would give you like, if you're lucky, you would get 18 pots on the extreme run. Right? A lot of the times it's less than 10. Let's be honest, it's less than 10. With this new one, in the ultra difficulty, the average from me personally, from what we've seen, is like 25 average. Sometimes you can get very low, under 20, under 15 even. Sometimes you can get above 30. You can get 40 drops in a run, which is kind of insane. But it is RNG. But on average, most of the runs you do, you get around 25 pots. And I think that's a great change. And quite frankly, that is going to be a hot take. Get ready for it. I think this is better than adding 5 times IT. I know. Let me explain myself, right? I am in a position of someone that does have max strength to the characters. I'm in a position that has an active guild that helped me clear the IT quests faster. But the reason why I say it is because the game can become too easy. And when it becomes too easy, it gets boring, right? That's just how it is. In fact, I even had a comment. Maybe I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up now if I can find it. Someone commented on my video on the 6th anniversary, something about he quit the game on the 3rd anniversary because it got too boring. He played the game for 1 month, 2 months or 1 month, and he basically completed everything the game had to offer to the point that it got boring. There was no new challenge in the game, and that's something exactly BBS has been lacking. When you release these broken characters, you know, 6th anniversary Aizen, Artwork Ichigo, Bruno, for example, and then you release this broken system, you know, Transcendence, for example, and to a certain extent T22, it makes it hard to keep entertained by doing the same thing over and over again when it's too easy, when you're one-shotting everything. So quite frankly, lads, I think this is a great change of pace. Using a max transcended character and not clearing content in one hit, it's fun. It's fun. I'm not going to lie. And like I mentioned, I prefer this over 5 times IT because if we did get 5 times IT on the extreme difficulty and it was, again, just one-shotting characters and you're getting now more pots, what would I do after I get all those pots? Like, let's say, for example, if you look at my box, one of my personal goals in the game was to get every character to T10, right? I got every character max being sorted. Did I need to do it? No, but I wanted to. It kept me entertained. It kept me going over the last couple of years, right? If then they added 5 times IT, and then I start getting all these characters to T20 very easily, let's say 1 or 2 a day, then, like, why am I doing it, you know? Am I doing it to clear epic raids 5 seconds faster? Am I doing it to clear guild quest 5 seconds faster? Maybe, but then like there's nothing really, like there's no endgame content, proper hard content to make use of those max transcended characters, to make use of those T20 characters, for example, until now. This ultra difficult quest, it basically requires you to have a max transcended character, not entirely, again, you could have in 2 or 5, with level 10 SP and focus. But it also encourages you to, like, you know, link your character to T20, T15, and I think that's a great change of pace, in my opinion. It definitely has made IT farming significantly bad, because if you actually look at my items right now, if I go to my crystals, or my pots, we have 3,500 heart potions, and I believe I actually had like 300 this morning, or maybe like 2,700, so we farmed almost 1k in a couple hours time, farmed like 500 in 2 hours. That is great compared to beforehand where we were getting like 200 in 2 hours. Like, that is great, and that's why I think this is actually better than 5 times IT, because it's rewarding those that have been playing the game, working on your characters, going for dupes and stuff like that, and it's allowing you to now farm IT faster. And you know what, if you are someone that doesn't have a max strength character, or you're not someone that can consistently farm this new ultra difficult quest, that's fine. You don't have to. Like, there's, again, the only thing that really requires it right now is this new IT quest, in my opinion. So, you know, if you can't farm IT, if you can't farm it consistently, then there's no rush. Like, quite frankly, go at your own pace, do what you want to do, go at your own pace. You don't need to max everything in one day like some of us are doing. But yeah, I think this is a great change to the game. And before you comment like, oh, yeah, you know, pay to win, 5 out of 5 characters, I do want to preface one thing. Like, we do have, fortunately, on KL's part, we do have access to a lot of free 5 stars, a lot of ways to get dupes of characters. Yes, limited characters are very rare. Not everyone has a max transcended Bruno, right? Not everyone has a max transcended Spirits Arthur with you Jushra, unless you got very lucky, unless you bought orbs, unless you just saved for a very long time. But there are plenty of good premium characters that are even being designed for IT that you're going to eventually get in the future that you can use, right? I know a lot of you watching this video right now have 5th anniversary Byakuya, 5th Anniversary Ichigo, Max Transcended, because they have been put into a lot of banners. You can get them from tickets, you can get them from Senkamon tickets, you can get them from the free multis every time they come back, you can get them from banners occasionally. They've been thrown in a few decent amount of banners. Same goes for the Link Store characters, right? There are a lot of premium characters that have been thrown into a lot of different banners to the point that you're annoyed because you pull them so many times. But guess what? That is now a character that you can work on to then take into the Ultra Quest of IT and now farm Link Swords even faster, which I think is a great thing because, quite frankly, nothing has really encouraged you to do that. Let me give an example, right? Let me start by special move. So, obviously, right now, it's currently the Speed Quest with Aaroniero killer. Speed Aaroniero suck. There's only literally Basby for the most part. So, I've been using Byakuya, and Byakuya doesn't have killers, so he isn't doing that much damage. So, I've been thinking about maybe working on this Uryu. He's a somewhat common character. I'm fortunate enough to have him 5/5, so maybe I'm actually going to work on him, get him to T20, T15, get him to Max Transcended, and then it will allow me to now farm power potions for the next month significantly faster over Byakuya because he has killer. He therefore should be doing more damage. So, you know, you got to look at the bright side. Let's stop being so negative about things in the game. I know there's always like a lot of hate and stuff like that, but I think there's really nothing to complain about this new Ultra update. Going back to other premium characters, you know, like you have Kisuke. A lot of people have Kisuke 5/5. He's definitely a character that you can use. Same goes for even Rukia. I mean, Rukia, whenever it's Sober Killer, if you are someone that doesn't have Aizen and you have her duped out, which again, she's been thrown into a lot of banners, then she's definitely a viable option that you can use. So, yes, this content does somewhat require you to have a 5/5 character, but it doesn't require you to have a 5/5 limited character. There are definitely a lot of premium options, and again, there are new premiums being designed for IT as well. Look at the new Yukio, for example. He was literally designed for this new IT quest. Right now, he's a very new character, so not a lot of people do have him. But let's say in a year from now, when he does become more common and you eventually do get him duped out, he is going to be potentially better than... maybe not Bruno, but you know, he's going to be good in IT, for example, because he's been designed for that. It's the increased chance to inflict the paralysis, I believe, that he does inflict. He has the extra damage in carb. So yeah, I think this is actually a very cool change to the game, and I kind of wish to see more ultra content or ultra difficult quests going into other content, right? Maybe that's just me though, but then again, I've been someone that has been preaching for a very long time to have harder content in the game, and I think this is a great change in my opinion. But let me know if you disagree, right? We can share opinions. No one's right or wrong. It just really depends on how you take it. But at the same time too, I do want to highlight one thing, is that because this is difficult, it also changes the way we kind of play the game to a certain extent, because for the most part, as I mentioned, when you one-shot everything at 1 out of 5, and especially 5 out of 5, the game has always become about damage. And not a lot of people value survivability, and that's one of the reasons why I actually love characters that have built-in healing, built-in DR. It's one of the reasons why I do think Bruno is better than 5th Anniversary Ichigo, because he has the last ditch. He has the 50% chance to dodge. It's one of the reasons why 6th Anniversary Aizen, is one of my favorite characters and the best character in the game, not because he has Frenzy +2, but because he has, you know, a Vortex SA2 that provides good crowd control. He has the heals from the drain. Stuff like that I very much do appreciate. Even Don Kanoji, for example. I know I'm very fortunate again to have him 5/5. This lad has been a lifesaver in the ultra difficult quest for IT, because you saw this morning, he does have an increased chance to inflict his stats against Arankas and Holos, which is actually very good. He has 2 killers, and he also has the team party heal. So my whole team is healing 20% every time you go into a new room. That is such a good skill, honestly. It's one of the best things about Don Kanoji that I very much do appreciate. At the same time, earlier, one of my guildmates, Zan, was using Isane because she provides a shield. It's stuff like that is, because the content is hard that you don't want to die, it starts making you think about, maybe I don't want to just focus entirely on damage. I want to make sure I also stay alive. So we want to bring a character that can heal, a character that can put on a shield, maybe put on some links to make sure you are immune to burn, maybe put some healing links on. Stuff like that. You're essentially doing stuff that you didn't normally think about when going into IZ, for example, where in IZ, I just bring out Aizen, I get asked 3 rookies to join, I carry. Very easy, right? But this new quest, it's difficult. I love it. It kind of challenges what characters you want to bring. It's not just as simple as bring a 5 out of 5 character. It kind of is, but there is some thought process. And now I'm actually starting to value some more of those, you know, resurrection links that are 12% recharge and burn resistance, or 12% recharge and freeze resistance, because those are going to be very clutch for when you're farming IT. And yeah, that's basically it, right? I wanted to kind of just talk about this new update. I think it's a great change, and I don't think there's really much to complain about. Sure, the drop rate could be higher, but you know what? It's clear that KLab don't want to add 5 times IT anytime soon. There's really no point to complain about it anymore, because they know that we know, and we know that they know that we want 5 times IT, right? That kind of makes sense. So they would have done it by now. They understood that the grind for IT was way probably too much than it should be, and that's why they incorporated this new Ultra Quest, rewarding those that have been playing the game for a long time, that have been working on their characters, and now they can farm IT significantly faster. So that being said, my voice is starting to hurt. Hope you guys did enjoy the video and understand my viewpoint of why I actually like this game mode. But again, if you disagree, let me know. We can start a conversation. But besides, see you lads next one. Peace.